the NWF Champion Ace.
Pitts has called the match. For some strange reason, he's giving the victory to Kid Kelsey.
Mr. X declared the new champion.
The new champion, Mr. X.
He's won the title match. Get it back, bring him around. Don't you come your new champion.
Hello, NWF fans, and welcome back to another episode of NWF Fast Forward live on the NWF Wrestling channel and also our guest, Wrestling Revolution Keaton's channel. Now, of course, let's cut to the best part of the entire show. Let's get straight into the introductions. So, first, I am your main host. I am the man who just main evented Malone Rugby Club in an amazing championship scramble match. I'm the man who was robbed of that very same championship match, which we'll get on to later in the show. And I am also your future NWF World Champion and the longest reigning NIPW Junior Heavyweight Champion in history. I am the heart and soul of NIPW and NWF. It is the Canary Kid. And next, it is my assistant host. He is the biggest schmuck we've ever had on here. He is the worst of the NWF title lineage. He is the Marty Jannetty of this podcast. And he is a 5-time schmucker weight NWF World Champion. Schmucker Crossen.
Yep, and Canary, I'm just kind of curious. How's your back feeling this week?
You know what? Great question. It's funny how much your back can get so much better in the space of a week. But my main question is, how are you doing? I just want to know because I have a lot more sympathy for Crush EC guys because I always made fun of how he's an old man and stuff. But you know what? After having a bit of back pain, I'm really starting to resonate with you. It must be awful. It really must be horrific.
Well, I hope that you don't have to see how much back pain I might have or not have because, the contingency plan is still out there. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. I want to talk about what happened on May 4th. Yeah. You want to explain to everybody what went down? Because a lot of people don't even see it, don't know what went on.
Well, for those living under a rock who didn't see one of the biggest shows of the year, let me set the scene. So picture this. Main event, Malone Rugby Club. Hundreds in attendance. And yours truly, the Canary Kid, is in a scramble match, a 5-man scramble match for his junior heavyweight title, which he never truly lost. He was robbed of in a scramble match. So I was in the mindset of I'm ready to get my revenge and win it back, and no better way to do it than a year from when I won it before. It was written in the stars. It was destiny. It was fate. I go into this match. I'm catching bodies. I'm dropping boys. I am causing havoc. And what happens? There is a former junior heavyweight champion, DD Crooks, seated right in the middle of the ring, ready for the most devastating knees, that death from above Meteora that I have recently took on board to my arsenal. And I get up, and as I step outside the ring to get ready to go up top rope, a jealous, injured fan who bought a ticket that night, Ben Nelson, stands up and starts getting in my face when I am trying to do business. So I did what any other man did, and I got him out of my way by any means necessary, and that meant kicking his stupid little crutch out of his hand. Then he finds it professional enough for me to go on the top rope, and then he comes out of nowhere with that very same crutch, perfectly fine. He faked an injury, I'll get into that. Perfectly fine, and wallops that crutch over my back, costing me this chance to become the junior heavyweight title holder. Do people understand why I'm frustrated? Ben Nelson cost me that match. A lot of people have been asking, but Canary, we watched you walk out of there. Why did you walk out? I'll tell you why I walked out. Because I've had enough. I have had enough. NIPW constantly gets all these opportunities to people like DD Crooks. They give opportunity to people like Sage Valentine, to Jordan Nelson, to Nando Libre. All these people get opportunities while I am stuck with Ben Nelson, who is nothing more than a virus and a cancer in NIPW. Ben Nelson cost me my chance at a championship. And if he wants to ruin my shot, I will ruin his career by leaving the biggest stain you will ever see. I will tarnish whatever legacy he is trying to build for himself. I am sick of it. And next Saturday, I'm in the second match of that best of 3 series. And at first, I'll tell you what, when I heard about this so-called contingency plan, I was a little bit frustrated. I thought I would have just won the title after that second match. But you know what? I don't even care if I have to face Crusher. I am in there to take Ben out of commission. I am in there to end Ben Nelson. Because you want to get involved in matches that you aren't a part of because you're that jealous and insecure of yourself. You want to ruin everything for me? Then I will ruin everything for you. Even the things you couldn't even think of, the things you don't even notice that you have, I will take it away in a heartbeat, Ben Nelson. Because it is because of me that you are where you are now, and it'll be because of me that you fall right down to the bottom of the ladder where you belong. So that's what happened.
All right, you finished? I'm going to tell you what happened here, guys, that he didn't tell you. Yes, Ben interfered and hit him with the crutch, but what he's not telling you is when he got up after being beat like that, he grabbed that crutch and he nailed Nando Libre right in the back and started choking him with it during the match, which means you used a foreign object. Now, if I was referee, you'd be disqualified. This is coming from the same Canary Kid that doesn't break any rules. This is what I was telling you about, Ricky. When you start letting anger take over, you lose focus. Now, let me tell you this. You're blaming Ben Nelson. You come out here, it's Ben Nelson. He cost me my championship. He cost me everything. You ruined it for me. You ruined it. I don't blame Ben Nelson one bit. Not even a little bit. Because what happened here, guys, is you, Canary Kid, started kicking his knee in the tag team match once you found out the day after you were in the match for the championship. So you started going after his knee then, but it backfired because you didn't win the match. But then when you had your singles match, you just started kicking his knee, kicking his knee, kicking his knee, kicking his knee, I think 3 or 4 times, and then figure 4, quick, cheap victory because you want to just get right to that championship. And I think you're afraid of Ben Nelson in a way because you're trying to keep that knee hurt over all these matches. So Ben Nelson, you pushed him over the edge. He snapped. This is what I'm talking about, Ricky. Actions have consequences. When you do this, if you just would have listened to me and if you would have went in there and did it right, this wouldn't have even happened. So what, Ben Nelson comes out there and he takes that crutch and whacks you on the back and gives you a welt. and you went on back to the dressing room, you get your rear end back in that match and you fight like there's no tomorrow and you go through everybody in there, you kick their tails, and you get your title back. That's the Canary Kid I seen two years ago. What happened to him? Because this Canary Kid is a quitter. You don't quit on the match. Ricky, remember when we watched me against Mr. X at Brooklyn Park and I broke my finger? Now, you think that didn't hurt? Broke it in 3 places. I stayed in there. I fought through it, pain and all, and I got my belt back. This is what champions do. And you know something? You're so filled with hate and anger right now that it's just clouding your vision. And it's clouding your focus, and you're all over the place. Now, Ben, I don't blame you for being angry. He did instigate this. So yeah, you should be mad and you should be angry. But what? You interfered in the match and you hit him with the crutch and caused outside interference? Where is your head? Yeah, it upsets him and it probably hurt. They hurt emotionally because he didn't get his belt. But Ben, what did it do for you? What do you get out of this other than a little satisfaction? No, what you should have done, and what you still could do, but you kind of already ruined it, you take that anger, you funnel it into positive energy, and you beat him in the middle of the ring. Fair. Because you know what, Ben? You beat Canary Kid in the ring, that is going to sting a lot more than what you just did. Because look, we don't like losing, but we don't like losing to our proteges. So, Ben, you need to get your priorities straight too. You're letting anger and everything run your situation. Anger and rage and I'm going to say hatred now. You guys were best friends. I don't know what's going on here. We have a championship match right around the corner. And I don't know if it's going to be a championship match or a slugfest with sloppy wrestling. And that's what you get, by the way, when it turns into a brawl. So, guys, I'm getting emotionally involved here, but I'm still going to call this match down the middle because that's what a referee does. If there's one thing I can do is be Mr. Integrity with all this. But I don't know what we're going to get. And yeah, there's a contingency plan, and it sounds like you're looking at that. Ricky, you need to concentrate on next week. We still got a match to go next week. I'm not even going to talk about the contingency plan today, guys. I don't really have nothing to say about that. I talked about it too much last time. And what I want to see happen is, let's just see what happens in this next match. I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe it's going to get worse before it gets better, if it even gets better. And by the way, guys, Ricky, I think we should tell them. Well, before I get to that, I guess I want to finish up on this. I don't want to switch gears too much. But I have been getting a lot of grief over people on the internet this week saying, oh, you're too hard on the kid. You're too hard on Ricky. You're too hard on the Canary Kid. You're being too rough. Well, you know what? You're damn right I am. You know why I'm getting rough? You know why, Canary, I'm going to talk to you right now. You know why I'm being hard on you? I see so much of myself in you when I was your age because we both started when we were 14. And I see a lot of that. But there's one big difference. I would have killed to have the opportunities you got with proper training, proper guidance, and learning all the skills that you've learned and that made you that Canary Kid I seen 2 years ago. I would have done anything for that when I was your age. So if I'm extra hard on you, it's because you got the potential to be so much better than any of us from that era. But you're going to throw it all away if you let this hate and anger take over. And that's all I'm going to say on it for now. I want to see what you guys do next week. But I talked a lot there. I know I did. My voice is kind of going already. And I'm going to get beat up by these guys tonight because I got Canary Kid and Wrestling Revolution Keaton about to come in. And I know they're going to tag up on me again.
Right, I'm sorry to interrupt, Crusher, but I'm not sitting for this, right? Keaton, I know you can hear us right now. Keaton is in the air right now. Keaton, I'm sorry you're going to have to wait a second because I have to get a few things off my chest. I just have to verbalize how little you people and you, Crusher, understand me. because you don't understand how it feels like to be me. Because I am, and I know I am, and everyone here watching this knows I am, and you know yourself, Chris, you've said it many times. I'm talented, and I know I'm talented. But I'm constantly having the wrong people come up to me and tell me how I'm meant to do my stuff, how I'm not doing things right, how I'm just a kid, how look at him, he's 5'9", 150 pounds soaking wet, he's nothing. I'm sick of it. And I constantly persevere, and that just eats away at certain people. And I'm seeing people like Didi Crooks, as I said, and CH Valentine get all these opportunities that, as talented as they are, I know I deserve just as much, if not more. And then I have people like Ben Nelson come in to my match, interfere with a crutch, attack me. And as legal as it is, although it is a no disqualification match, you cannot get disqualified inside a scramble match. You don't understand how much that hurt. How much that burns inside me that Ben Nelson did that. Because as much as you people want to say that I took things low, never once did I actually break a rule in a match. And neither did Ben. But what Ben did was he took a foreign object and attacked me with it. That is outside of this wrestling world. That is a personal attack. And I'm sick of it. I was never raised. I'm from Twinbrook. I'm from West Belfast. We were never raised to be weak and then be walked over. Throughout history, people from the west of Belfast have constantly persevered, and I'm not going to be one to be picked on. I'm not. I'm not going to be disrespected like that.
Canary, your personal,
no.
Your
You
personal battle, your
Crusher,
personal
you
battles are going to cost you the war.
I don't care what
you're gonna screw up this whole thing if you keep going like you are.
And see, that's the thing. That's the thing with you and everyone else. You don't want to hear what I have to say. And what I'm about to say is, you all put on these rose-tinted, sugar-coated glasses when it comes to Ben Nelson. But when it comes to me, everyone is so critical of me. And it's constant pressure and pressure and pressure. And it's things like that is why I don't have a championship on my shoulder or around my waist. No one else gets the pressure I do. Didi Crooks gets told, oh, you're amazing. CH Valentine gets told, wow, you've broken so much. What a champion you were. Although it was so brief, you did a great job. Pure filth is just amazing. People look at Ben Nelson and go, wow, you've so much potential. Who do you think made him realize that potential? Me. Who do you think walked out of the dojo when Ben Nelson has had breakdowns and has stood with him, reassured him, made him realize that he has potential? Who do you think is the one that Ben looked in the eyes and said, I may not know you long, but in or out of wrestling, you are the greatest friend I've ever had. Me. I have given Ben so much. I have given my heart and my soul to Ben Nelson. And constantly, he's let me down. But I've done nothing but try my best with Ben Nelson. And all because I attacked an injury in a match that I deserved. Because Ben is constantly giving me shtick on this podcast. And I was sick of being disrespected. And I just want to prove to people. That I have what it takes. And I've not lost it. And I'm not a failed waste of potential, and that I am going to put everything into everything I do.
You know what, Ricky? You've talked enough. You've talked enough, and I'm talking now.
Go ahead. Go.
I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to leave you with this, and then we're going to get Keaton in here. But I'm going to say this. You talk about your heart and soul. You know what the problem with rage and anger, which you just demonstrated to us again? It comes in disguise. You actually believe you have heart and soul still, but what it really is, it's the rage and anger that has consumed it. And it looks to you like heart and soul, but do you remember hearing the boos? That's how everybody else sees it, including me. So if we're being hard on you, it's for good reason. And you need to start seeing this thing the way I'm telling you. And Ben, you are already on the track of cheating. And I'm going to say this. That's a slippery slope. And believe me, I know when you start cheating, it's like a drug. It's like a bad drug addiction. And then you want to do it again and again and again. And yeah, all the potential, it's gone. Both of you guys need to get your heads on. And we got a championship match coming up here. And if you guys aren't got your minds in this, this is the 40th anniversary for the championship. We need to give this the respect it deserves. And that means respect for one another. And I'll tell you one other thing I'm going to leave you with. You're talking about how Ben's jealous. And you guys were best friends when we announced the match. And you were respectful for one another at the start of this, at the very, very start of this. And I know we're best friends. Friendship is a tough thing here. Because let me tell you something. And I only know it all too well, but when you destroy part of a friendship and it's gone forever, you don't know how much I wish I could go back in time and do it again and change what I did that was wrong. And so when I see somebody like you and somebody like Ben doing the wrong things, you're damn right I'm going to get passionate and I'm going to interrupt you and I'm going to tell you. Because sometimes you have to do that to get your point across. Now, Canary, we can go back and forth on this.
Yeah, I know. Just get Keaton in here. Come on.
We need to get Keaton in here. And but I did want to say this, though, Ricky, and we'll leave it at that. But, food for thought. All right? That's all I'm asking. Now, I'm going to say this. The venue has had to change, as you've seen in the promo. It's not going to be June 1st like we've been telling you all along. So it's going to be May 31st. And Ricky, you know a little bit more of the area. It's at the, if you want to tell them where
it's the Willowfield Church Halls. It's a nice venue. Lots of seats, lots of room for all the fans who are ready for a great show. All controversy aside, right now, it's going to be an amazing event for sure. No matter what goes on with the title match, but not just the title match, the other matches on the card, why they're not announced. There's many people putting their names in the hat who want to be on that event. And I can assure you, with the names I've seen in that hat already, it's going to be an amazing event. It'll probably put NIPW on another level, and that's not just me saying that. It's a big event. There's a donation of a percentage of the ticket prices. A percentage of the ticket money is going towards the church that's hall we're using. So yeah, it's not just for us, it's also for the good cause of the local church. So
right.
It'll be a good event.
It's going to be a good event, and as much as I'd love to say it's because of the hype of our big match that they had to get a bigger venue, but it really was just a scheduling conflict, and we just had to move it.
Things happen. It's just life.
Yeah.
That's wrestling for you. It's the closest thing to the life of a rock star, apart from being a life of a rock star. So it's anything can happen. It's a very unpredictable business.
We do have lots of comments coming in. Ben's in there commenting. But I'm not going to get him fired up yet with that. We'll get him, Ben, but we got to get our guest in because he's been waiting patiently, listening to all of this. We need to get him in. So let's get into Wrestling Revolution Keaton. I'm so, there we go. Sorry. There he is, Wrestling Revolution Keaton, my co-host on Kayfabe with Keaton. First time on NWF Forward for you. And this is going to be a fun show. Are you excited?
Yeah, this is good.
Yep, I'm going to briefly apologize, Keaton, for the hold up. Things just happen, yourself. You've been to so many events, you just know how things work. But you're here now, and I've heard that we have some good footage that we're going to get into later in the podcast, which I honestly can't wait for, Keaton, personally. So that'll be a lot of fun. But yeah, it's glad to have you here.
Well, Keaton, I know you want to comment on what you heard, so let's go ahead. Let's get your comments in.
Yeah, don't worry about taking so much time when you're talking to Crossen. You need to take as much time as you want, because this guy can't comprehend that Ben Nelson is not as good as you. That what you done in that match with Ben Nelson, you did not cheat. You just took the shot like any old wrestler would do. But Ben Nelson screwed you when he didn't need to.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And what about when Canary took the crutch and went after Nande Libre?
You don't even know his name.
What about that part? What about that foreign object usage? That's a disqualification in my book.
It's an ODQ match.
It wasn't an ODQ match.
It is. It's a scramble match. It's no DQ.
Scramble match.
You pensioner.
I don't remember them announcing that.
It's just in the rules. It's the same way as a triple threat match. It's an ODQ match, but they don't announce this is a no DQ triple threat because it's just well known you can't end a bad DQ.
Yeah.
And once again, I didn't point this out, but when he did mention it. He took the initiative to say it. But if you watch, when you see the footage, he kicked the crutch right out of Ben's hands, which then again pushed Ben over the breaking point once again.
He had a right to.
But my point is, it's instigating. When you instigate, look, actions Three simple words, and you got to never forget it. Actions have consequences. Always remember that. Well, you can sit there, Canary or Keaton, you can bring the pom-poms and you can cheer all you want. I know you're his #1 fanboy, and I know we're going to hear it. And that's fine. I've been in 2-on-1 handicap matches. I've been in 3-on-1. I even did a 4-on-1 handicap match. You find somebody who did that. So I can take it.
Somebody who
I can
wanted to
take
be
it
the
from
winner
you
of the
two.
match because he ran the company.
Crusher, you can't say that Keaton's coming in here with pom-poms when from the start that this title match has been announced, you have been up Ben's ass like a colonoscopy. It has been
Exactly.
nothing but constant, as the youngins say, glazing Ben. And you're constantly going to promote Ben as this star. And although right now you're putting on this critical front, which any common person, like any normal person would do, it's common sense to know that what Ben did wasn't right. So don't think you're some sort of, I don't know, Gandhi just for announcing that Ben did something wrong by attacking me for crutch. It's common sense. But you can't say that Keaton's wrong for constantly saying how great I am when you have done nothing but the same for Ben Nelson.
Exactly.
Canary, if you don't start seeing what the reality is, you're going to lose sight of the whole thing, and you're going to fall flat. You're already in a tailspin, and if you don't get out of it, what happens in a tailspin is you crash and you burn. And another thing with the friendship, you guys, I'm actually going to wait to say this. I'm not going to tell you guys this yet because you guys have a match to get through, and I want to make sure that you're through, that this other match takes place, and I'm not going to get into that yet. But I will come back to that, though, on maybe the next show or whatever. But all I know is I meant what I said, and you can go ahead and think I'm full of shit all you want. But I know the Canary Kid I seen when I first saw you, and you know the story, Ricky. I've told you when I first came across you. And I know that kid, and I know the matches, those memorable matches with John McCann, which are now NXG, NIPW classics. And I have not seen this guy in a while. And I do mean what I say when I said that. So, and I don't care if you believe me or not. But I know what I see and I know what I saw. I am a straight shooter. I'm a realist like you. And I tell it like it is. And that's why I'm on Ben just as much as I am on you. You think I'm up Ben's ass, like you said. I made it pretty clear how I feel about Ben right now, and I made it pretty clear how I felt about him last show as well when I said, what did you do tapping? All I want from both of you is to be competitive. I've always said that. So that's what it is. And, Ricky, the thing is, when you have somebody that trusts you, he had nobody. He looked up to you when he got in there. You said it yourself. He looked like a lost soul in that place when he first joined. And so he put his trust in you. And when you have somebody that trusts you like that, the last thing he's expecting you to do is play any kind of shady pool. Knowing that you know his weakness, he doesn't expect that. And it really hurts. And you need to understand that. And that's where his anger is coming from right now. So you have to understand that. Now, Keaton, I just want to cover this with Keaton. Keaton, who did you see first? Crusher or Canary? You came across me. You were
Doesn't matter.
It was the NWF that inspired you in the beginning. And you come out here and just say, oh, Crusher doesn't know what he's talking about. Crusher doesn't know what he's talking about. I can't believe what I'm hearing. I'm kind of disappointed a little bit, Keaton.
But yet again, that does not matter because you've disrespected the Canary Kid, and that's just it. I could see one wrestler first, and then like another wrestler more. It doesn't really matter who I see first. I see true greatness in the Canary Kid.
Keaton, there's a difference between disrespect and wanting the best. Sometimes you have to hear really hard things to eventually realize what's going on. Here's, what the problem here is, and I'm going to kind of be honest. Ricky, you're 17 years old. So is Ben. You know what the problem? You're just a teenager. You know what the problem with teenagers is? You think you know everything. And it's just a reality. And the problem with that is you're still just a baby and you don't know shit. And you forget that people like me have already been down the road you're traveling. I've seen it. You're trying to con a con man. It doesn't work that way. So you can put this big act on and this big tough guy mentality, but I see right through it. So you're not going to get that kind of any reaction like that from me. I'm going to keep coming at you and I'm going to keep challenging you. And you're not going to want to hear it all the time, but I'm going to keep challenging you because I know somewhere down there is the heart and soul of NIPW. And maybe we'll see it someday. Maybe we'll see it again someday. It's not dead. It's not dead, but it is hibernated.
All I'm going to say is, right, as Keaton said, what does it matter who he saw first? What sort of, you say that I'm a teenager and basically a childish mentality. That is the most childish thing I've ever heard. I knew him first. You knew me first, so what does it matter?
Right? You're proving it as we speak.
Exactly. What does it matter?
I heard about Hitler before I heard about Gandhi. And you know what? Funny enough, I like Gandhi a little bit more than Hitler. So your logic does not stand when it comes to that. And what I will say, after your little very belittling and condescending speech, you're right. The average teenager does think they know everything. Most teenagers are, a little bit smartasses. They think they have all the answers. They think they're at that age where they've seen the world, been there, done that, but they haven't, right? Most teenagers indeed. But funny enough, if you haven't realized what I do on a daily basis, you'll realize I'm not a normal teenager. I go 4 times a week and I train. After that 4-day-a-week training session, every 2 weeks or so, I am wrestling in front of hundreds of people, putting on classics, having great matches. I have traveled country to country to country to country. I have been all over the place at the age of 17. At the age of 17, I've been wrestling for almost 4 years. What other 17-year-old can you name who does what I do to my standard?
Exactly.
No one. Ben Nelson is almost there. Yes, if he was there longer, I'm not going to lie and pretend he isn't talented, because he is. Right? And if he was in this business longer, hell, he might have done the stuff I've done. But the thing is, he hasn't been in as long as me. He hasn't done the things I've did. That's just a reality. So you can't compare me to an average teenager. When I'm not average, I'm not even above average. I'm a whole nother level. I am ultra. I am great. I am fantastical. I am magnificent. And I am an absolute spectacle to watch.
Absolutely.
And you know that's the truth. So you can't compare me to an average teenager, Crush. Don't be an idiot.
I never said you were an average teenager. I just said you were a teenager.
No,
And
he says that he's one of them teenagers that that thinks he knows everything, when really the Canary Kid
but
is
if you think
the average teenager.
you better be careful about this walking on water mentality that you think you have. You know what your weakness is, Canary? Remember when I said everybody's... The heck is that noise? You hear that?
Keaton's popular.
What is it?
I'll put it on silent.
I think he's popular.
And this buzzing noise.
Someone
No, but what I was gonna say is now I lost my train of thought with that noise.
you forget most things. You're at that age.
I was gonna say that you can come out here and say you're all this invincible and everything. And I said you had a weakness, Canary. You know what your weakness is? It's your overconfidence. It always has been. And so, and that's what blinds you. But this hate and anger and rage is dangerous situations. I hope that you find a way out of it. But let's get with Keaton. Keaton, you got to do something. There's some weird noise.
Yeah,
coming.
Keaton, this is not.
Oh my god! 1 second.
What is that?
It's his phone.
Someone's ringing me.
Oh, because it's like loud. Do you hear it too, Ricky?
Yeah, I think it's his agent.
Mute there.
His
Good.
agent. All right,
Yeah,
let's switch gears a little bit, Ricky, because we don't want to blow Keaton off.
We're
Right?
missing the meaning of this episode.
We'll double back on some of this stuff when we get to the end. So and Ben, I will bring your comments in. You just have to stay tuned, buddy. I shouldn't say buddy, because I'm not real happy. But we're not going to get into this.
We never have.
Yeah, you're getting
We'll
into
get
the
back.
game.
We'll get back to that. All right.
Absolute yopper.
So Keaton, when did you start training at NIPW? Is I guess my question.
Well, I started training 4 years ago. My first show I went to was NIPW Roar's War, which you're going to see a bit of. And yeah, so I saw NIPW obviously advertised their first show, and then after that, I saw that they were doing wrestling training for juniors. So I thought I know Nathan well, and I knew John kind of well as well. And I loved wrestling, so there was nothing better than doing that.
You said you started training 4 years ago?
Maybe 3.
Yeah, I think it was 3 because 4 years ago I hadn't even started yet, Keaton.
Oh, so it was 3 years ago.
You know what? Fair enough, because I always add a little bit more on as well. So I get where you're coming from. And of course, that first session, it was a good session. We had a good bunch of people there. I remember it. All round, the idea was a success, and you're still at it. I think you're the only one left from our first class. So how does that feel? Seeing
Yeah,
people drop like flies, in that sink or swim, environment.
well, it feels kind of good.
Yeah.
It just shows that some kids don't want to stick it, maybe because they don't like wrestling enough. But it just shows the amount of passion I have for it, and I think that's quite rewarding for me.
Yeah.
Well,
we've seen
Keaton,
you come some way.
you certainly understand my story because you've read my book and
Yeah.
and you know the documentary, and you know that what we had, you understand it. So for you, I mean, I think it's so awesome that you have this environment. Like I told Ricky earlier, that you're learning from the best and you're learning the proper techniques and everything. And I don't think you guys understand just how much I would have died for that, man. I mean, we didn't have any situation at all that we could go and do that. Like if I went to Eddie Sharkey, before he found me, he would have told me to get lost. It wouldn't even be a conversation. They just didn't train kids. It didn't happen. So I think for you guys in this day and age, that's amazing. And it's just great that you have this,
Yeah, it is.
But the thing is, you got to keep working at it, right? It's not easy. You got to keep improving. You don't want to just keep going through the motions. You got to keep getting better at what you're doing, right? That's the goal.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So I guess we should probably get some of the watch along. Let's hopefully this plays. Let's see, because we've been having trouble playing videos, you guys. So let's see if it works. I'm gonna hope it does.
This is gonna be hard to watch.
I'm gonna be mad if it doesn't.
It's going to be amazing to watch.
Hey, wrestling fans.
All right, it works. All
Oh
right.
my god, the shades.
So there's Keaton at a very young age. Gosh, how old were you here, Keaton?
I don't know what age it was.
Maybe
You
10?
were- What age you at, Keaton?
Yeah. I'm 13 now.
30. Oh my god.
Look at John. Look at John. They didn't even look the same.
Yeah, you would have been about 9, 10.
Yeah, probably.
John
You
does
weren't even there at
not.
that point.
No, I wasn't here yet. My
Oh,
first ever
nice.
time going as a fan was the show after this.
John kind of looks like, the way Nathan described him was marshmallow.
No, that was me who described him as a marshmallow.
What's that?
That was me who described him as
No,
a marshmallow.
Nathan did. Nathan did too, and we
Okay,
had him.
great.
on.
Oh, the first class.
John the Kid McCann showed
That
up
was a
to
good
train
bunch.
us. We learned how
Good
to
bunch of
climb
people.
into the ring.
You can hear the
So this
difference
is-
in the voice.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
very low. I mean, very
We learned
high.
how to dive
Did-
into the ring.
So, is this your first day training?
Yes, this is my very first
Learned
week I ever
how
went
to
there.
roll
Okay.
into the ring.
Meadow in her crutch.
Starting early
It's crazy.
stuff.
We learned how to crawl
I-
into the ring.
Meadow kept there for a while as well. I think me and Meadow were the longest lasting ones.
Yeah, you just were. I feel like
John the
Noah
Mom
and
from the
Caden
first
are up
group.
there now.
And
Them
Ethan
two. Oh,
Boyd
from the first
Yeah,
group? Yeah,
taught us how to
yeah,
do
100%.
Forward rolls.
No, you two were both really good. You were both at a
I
high
don't even remember any of
standard.
these kids.
Yeah, same.
Ah.
I hate to be cruel, but I only remember you and Meadow. Probably 'cause you've lasted the longest again.
Left
Yeah.
hand behind the head.
So this is locking up here.
Right
I actually
hand
do remember
behind
this
the
kid you're
head.
locking up with. He was
Same.
Le
Then we put
Flammers,
it to the next level. Put
Alex.
John McCann in a headlock.
No, Patrick Patterson. You had him on. That's
Mm-hmm.
his nephew. You were locking up with there, Keaton.
Next up, Chris Mercer.
Oh, yeah, I remember
in a
him, like-
headlock, and he helped me.
And then I feel like
to
this kid you're wrestling now, I don't know what he's doing these days.
Who is that?
It's Chris Mercer.
Is
that seriously Chris Mercer?
Yeah, that was Chris.
Good, it kind of freezes when I'm seeing it.
To the press up.
Oh, okay.
challenge.
What way am I doing this lockup?
My first trainer was John McCann.
It's crazy how far I've came as well.
Oh, look at the strength. Putting John
This
down.
Remember-
was a really
do you remember I used to always do that?
Oh yeah, you were great at this game. It was
I came out tired.
it's
but
crazy
full of
though. Now you can like
confidence.
not
What a
use
great
back then
day's
you couldn't
training.
even like forward roll right or like backwards roll. You can do anything. And now you look at
I
you
know.
like your fanfare rolls, your fundamentals are down.
Yes. Hi,
And what's that
Carlito.
kid doing these
Getting a
days?
meet and greet with
This guy?
Carlito.
Yeah, the guy with the
Welcome,
afro. What's he
wrestling
doing these
buff.
days?
It is Wrestling Revolution
Judgment
Keaton
Day.
here.
Oh, okay.
Today, you'll
Yeah,
see
he's a
us
very
learning
successful
some
trainee.
new wrestling moves.
This is all fast forwarded, obviously.
Our warm-ups and
Yeah.
stretches
Uh,
at NXT Wrestling.
who was it? Was it just you,
Oh.
Meadow, and Ruben?
Looks like it. There was a while where it was just me, Meadow, and Ruben for a while.
Yeah. Oh, Ruben also left. He was a great kid. He was great to have.
I know. He actually was.
Why-
He was awesome in the ring.
Really talented.
Yeah.
There's been a good few have left that have really like. I always said Crusher. It's the hardest part. Like Meadow, Ruben, and then my nephew Liam were the hardest
Yeah.
ones for me because of how good they were. They were
Yeah,
all
you told me
great.
Yeah.
about that.
I'm wee Mason as well. We used to have Mason. He used to be a great. He used to
So
be
none
great.
of
That's
them are doing it anymore.
No, it hurts like, but because obviously he's my nephew. I have hope for Liam to come back into it.
Is practicing front bumps.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I remember these days. I used to get up so early in the morning because they used to be even earlier than they are now as well.
Then we practiced. Our
We used to be up
backward
early.
break
Well,
falls.
that is,
Seems
it's
like
what,
just slamming
11
on the
till
canvas,
12?
But it's so much more.
Yeah, it used to be 10 till
If we
11.
don't get our break falls right,
And because where I lived, I used to have to be up
try
about
and
9.
try
What time are we doing it Saturday? Is it going to be 11 a.m.?
again.
It'll be 11.
To get injured.
Okay.
But yeah, on in this one.
Back roll
Back bump, yeah.
or a back bump. That's,
Used to
oh, you
be-
do it like that.
Dirty
You
high
slide
to
off.
fall.
Okay.
Oh, we
Yeah,
had
that's
the
when I used to be.
screen.
Yeah, I was scared of all the movies when like ages ago. I'm kind of better at it now, but I used to be scared to do everything.
You did. You're getting much better.
Yeah.
I still remember one time Keaton came into a training session and didn't believe that I could have carried him.
I still done that like 5
You
times
don't
every
believe you
week.
could have carried him? It's not that hard.
Yeah, he really had.
No, but-
He was scared to cross-body me, I think it was, because he didn't think I could catch him.
Oh, you didn't trust him. Okay, I get it.
Did not trust me at all. No
Yeah.
trust.
Yeah.
Oh, this is great to watch. This is good to look back on. There's me going for the high five. Oh my god, I was tiny.
Standing arm bar.
I know.
A man
I know.
I over the top rope.
ringing a bell at a church tower.
This is when I think I first started seeing you. You look more like
You're
this
pushing the rope
when I
up
first came across you on the
and pulling
net.
ropes down. But in this case,
Oh.
it was Chris Mercer's
Look at
arm.
me smiling after every move. This is funny.
I was ringing the bell.
I don't
was
smile as much.
smiling.
Amateur
I
art,
didn't know
come
what I was
on.
doing.
Listen to
But on
Canary
a
cell
scurriest
for him.
face, There must be something in this. I felt more powerful with a scurry face rather than a smiley face.
Yep, listen to
Poor
him
Ricky's
sell.
arm nearly got pulled out of his socket.
Is that Chris Mercer out there?
Per Ricky's arm.
The purple hoodie, yeah.
Who's that other guy in the beard?
That's Meadow's dad, John.
Okay.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, he was.
When Ricky was in the corner,
Jeez, I was better at
Alfred
selling
hit
then
with
than I
an
am
arm
now.
drag to grab them
Actually, was good
above
chilling. What?
the elbow doing this move. Then
What
No,
else
that
are
was
you
always
Ricky
that was always the
experienced
hardest thing
pain
to.
of that
Are you
night.
guys telling? Did they any with you guys to sell like Ricky's selling for you when you get like making the noise?
No, it's funny.
vocally?
Nathan never really takes us through. They takes us through selling.
Ricky
Oh yeah, because that's important. A lot of guys, when they first started out, they get hit and they wouldn't make the noise, right? And they're just going through the motion. Like you gotta sound off, right?
Well, I know certain people who train with us now, who I'm really close to, who if someone doesn't sell for them, they've told me before, like I would just hit them at that point. There's no other means to do it.
Well, I'm not. I mean the vocal side of it is what I'm talking about. You
The
know what I mean?
vocal set,
right?
I wasn't. I don't know. I can't remember if I was always comfortable with the vocal set. I want to say I wasn't, but I could be lying.
Yeah,
because
most
I
people
love-
when they're
I love
new and they're
talking.
starting out, they're just kind of timid. They're timid. They don't know what to. They don't want to make noise. You know what I mean?
couldn't handle thunder.
I remember that was
Floppy
happening with us
got
even.
toppy.
This is funny to watch.
What stuff
What
am
are
I
you
saying to
doing?
you?
Armbar? Armbar, is it?
Yeah, this is like the standing over one.
Standing over.
I didn't know
armbar?
any of this.
Oh,
Like we're stood in
you're
front of
just
us.
gonna stand there?
Is it a dinosaur you're doing?
See, this is that.
Dinosaur, I think this is. If you grab the leg,
It's
it's a
what?
dinosaur. I think it's a dinosaur. I think Nathan used to call it. I don't know if that's the name. Yeah, it is.
What
I
is
haven't done this in a hot minute.
Yeah,
Dinosaur.
you guys do a lot more like holds.
This is
than
this
we
is a
ever did.
Mexican. Well, yeah, because here's the thing. Back in your day, most people couldn't wrestle in America.
We weren't expecting this, but we had
Oh.
passed
Well, I mean,
the
we,
cold
we,
truth.
we just did the
one
basic
of
arm bars
wrestling
and stuff. We didn't do. There wasn't a lot of fancy stuff like that.
Oh, you could do the big moves, but a lot of Ameritrans back then couldn't wrestle.
No, like the British chain wrestling and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
British chain
And-
wrestling's the best.
Oh, it's amazing to watch.
I mean, Billy Robinson, we've seen a bit of it, but he was always like the standout. Nobody else is like him.
Ric Flair was quite good at it.
No, yeah, Flair was good. Flair had some
think-
amateur experience too.
That's the thing. I feel like amateur wrestling inspired you guys to start looking at British chain more.
Yeah.
Of reaching level 1
Oh my
Yeah,
god,
I'd be a big
certificates.
fan of it.
skills.
Ricky, are you getting sick?
Thanks
I
to
am sick right now, yeah.
Nathan,
Ah.
Yeah, it should be
Ricky,
good for it's better
John,
now than next week.
Chris, and Rachel.
Where's
Yeah,
John?
the British-
helping me
Did we
on
make
my
John take the
wrestling
photo?
journey.
No, I don't see him.
He must have
Yeah,
made
maybe
a
that's
photo.
what it was. Oh, finally something good here.
Oh god. It's not something good.
What?
Mr. Yellow.
There's
This
some
is the
weirdo
yellow
in the
look.
corner wearing Santa Claus. Always been able to talk the talk.
I remember before every show, like if we done a display or something, I used to always like get really nervous before, like the week before.
Oh, you were really nervous, and then this was the same show where Meadow got really upset before the show. Meadow was
By
crying.
the,
Yeah,
by
I
the way,
think
guys,
so.
I'm gonna get through some comments since we're in this too. Let's do this. So your dad's saying, "What do we want, Keaton? When do we want him now?" That was when all me and Rick were going toe to
Yeah,
toe.
apologies, Darren.
And then Darren says, "Dry your eyes, Canary. Dry your eyes." He was telling you.
Apology redacted.
And then he says, Darren's got a lot, so I just want to get his in here. He says, "Where can we get Ben Nelson T-shirts?" He's riding you, Canary. He's riding
Great
you.
question. I would love a Ben Nelson T-shirt, honestly, because toilet paper's expensive these days. You know.
Oh,
And then he
that's
says, "I
true.
reckon Ben's style mullets would sell well."
Ben style mullets. Yeah, you know, a lot of people want to dress up as horror fan things for Halloween, so I feel like his mullet's pretty scary.
And then I think this is your mom. Keaton for the title. You know, maybe I should. You know, we're bringing back the NWF World title. Maybe I should bring back the NWF Lightweight Champion as well. Nah, I don't want to. We don't want to make this turn this into NWF. We'll just do We'll just keep this World title. Sorry, Keaton. Let's keep the World title.
You can always go for the world title when the time comes.
Yeah, exactly.
When I'm holding it 4 years from now.
Yeah, I took the ring name, the lightning bolt here.
Yeah, I remember that.
And then Dixie Dave, your favorite, it says Crusher running his
Best.
mouth.
As always.
Yep.
Went through
we'll-
rolls.
We'll get rid of that. And then, and this is what Ben said to you
So yellow.
when you were talking bad about Ben, Keaton. He said, "This is why your dad's better than you, Keaton."
I just
then he-
speak facts, Ben.
And then he also said, "Keaton, isn't it past your bedtime?" I don't think Ben took too kindly to that disrespect you showed him.
Yeah, Ben.
I don't think
can't
it was
take roasting
disrespect,
as well.
just facts.
Ben, honestly, Ben can't handle unbiased journalism, and that's why he gets really angry when someone criticizes him in an unbiased manner.
And then Darren says, "This one's for me. I get a comment. Crusher, are you looking forward to coming over?" You bet I am. I've never been to Europe, so it's kind of exciting for me. You know, when you've never been somewhere, it's kind of like I've never been on the continent. Well, I guess in the kayfabe world I've been there, but in the real world I've never been to Europe. So I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun. I'm really looking forward to it, actually. So,
This
matter
is
of
so
fact,
funny.
I'll be spending time at this kid's training.
This is so funny seeing Rachel try and name the moves. She had no idea what you called this stuff. So she was just making it up as she goes. It was so funny.
Who's the
But, like,
Santa Claus guy?
I don't know, just some
Darren
weirdo.
McFadden.
Huh?
Isn't that Darren McFadden?
Nope, definitely not. Darren McFadden's a normal guy. This guy's not normal. Think about it. Who's so weird enough to dress up as
Oh,
Santa
okay,
Claus?
okay.
Yeah, he who
Not
shall
gonna
not be
say
named.
much about him
Yeah,
in the podcast.
yeah, let's not name him.
Yeah, let's change the subject.
Let's just leave that out.
You'll have to tell me
Oh.
after. Is this is Keaton? Yeah, Keaton Wrestling
This is
Canary.
Keaton. Yeah.
Yeah,
In
this
front of
was.
a
I kind
sold
of
out
regret this
crowd.
ring name. But like for. But the ring name wasn't too good. But see this performance. This is one of the only things like at this time I was happy with. When I watched back all the old stuff, I was kind of happy with this. I got most of it right.
Yeah, it was good. It was like this exchange is a nice exchange of the Japanese stranglehold.
And like if I ever do any more shows, these are the kind of moves I'd want to do. I love watching like all the submission and like chain wrestling of British wrestling.
Yeah, it's so much. It's an easy night, especially as a wrestler when you know you're doing that stuff.
I think it's way more entertaining as well.
Yeah, if you make it look good.
Yeah, I agree.
It tells a great story. And there's me taking all the glory.
Surprise, surprise, huh?
And look at that. Young Ruben wearing my shirt. Oh, the first ever bird tops. They were my best ever merch. I've only had 2 ever shirts, but that was
You
such
know what?
a good shirt.
I give you a Crusher Crossing shirts. You never gave me any Canary Kid shirts. I better get some when I get out there.
I don't have any, bro. They sold out so quick.
Well,
This
you
is
better
what we were
order some
talking about.
more.
When I was afraid to crossbody you, this was the exact sequence.
Well, you're a little bit older now.
Yeah, I can tell because I'm wearing an NIPW shirt. So
Yeah, and it was NXT at that time.
it couldn't
Yeah,
be
I
NXT here. Because I'm
I think
wearing an NIPW shirt.
No, that's what I mean. Like
So couldn't it be
it's
NXT if I
NIPW.
had one? Yeah, it's
No, yeah, that's
NIPW
what I mean.
here. Oh yeah, and there's Charlie and stuff. Charlie's new, so well not
Yeah, so
new,
it's
but he's
definitely
newer.
NIPW.
So this is not that long ago. This is last year at the latest, like at the earliest. I mean,
Yeah, it's about the time you joined Forward because you have that's kind of what you look like with your
Yeah.
hair, at least. And speaking of hair, I don't know if I brought this in, but Ben says Keaton's had the same haircut for 3 years, getting kind of old. Could never be me. Well, not with that mullet, I guess.
oh no, this one
Yo,
is this one older? No, it's not because this is after me coming back from Canada because that's my Ottawa jumper and it's not an NWF shirt you have on, Keaton.
yes,
No?
it is.
It is okay. This could
Yeah.
not be that old either. Oh my god,
Is that the NWF shirt? Oh, it is. How
It
about
is.
that? Yeah. That must have been after you came on our podcast then, Keaton, because that's when I sent it to you. So that had to be
Yeah.
around May, June?
no, it was after because I have my Ottawa sweater and I got that in Canada in the airport. So
All
and then
right.
I got back and it was on my way back from Canada, so it was like August or after was when this happened.
Yeah.
This one has to be pretty recent now.
Yeah, this one was like 3 weeks ago.
I was gonna say because this is our recent setup. Oh, yo, you're
Yeah.
doing the prawn hold,
I like this.
the prawn hold pin.
Yeah.
You ever see Zack Sabre Jr. Keaton?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah, he does this really well.
I like him. He's had good matches with Quackenbush and all as well.
Yeah, he has really good. He's actually talking to Quackenbush not that long ago.
Here, I wanted to mention this. Did you remember that promo I made for you?
I do. How can I ever forget Keaton? And then you came to the next training session and body slammed me.
Because I made a promo like saying I'm the Kid of Rock and you're
The Kid of Rock gimmick.
gonna
Yeah,
face the rock music or something.
it was.
That was a bit of a better character.
I'm listening, guys. I'm just trying to. I gotta get this done quick. Sorry.
distracted.
Yeah, distracted.
Damn, I wasn't there for this one. And what do you know? You can see Kaden and Noah grappling and back. All order is
I know.
lost when I'm not there.
Nathan gets angry at them.
Does he?
Yeah, he doesn't like shout or anything. He just like
Nathan
Gets a bit
doesn't want to
frustrated.
shout. I've never seen Nathan shout in the entire 4 years I've been there.
neither.
Doesn't get mad.
Well, I see Nathan get mad, but I don't see him shout.
Like-
Nathan doesn't shout.
He's not like a what do they call that? Passive aggressive or whatever.
Oh, he's super passive aggressive.
Or passive aggressive is what he is. I mean, yeah.
He's a little bit passive aggressive, but he's straightforward, so he kind of loses the passive aggressiveness.
Yeah.
So but he's very non-confrontational. It's
Right.
really Nathan's very complex. He's hard to understand, you know.
Oh, I've been talking to him a lot. I know what you're talking about sometimes.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Yeah. I know I'm preparing for all this and everything, of course. It's a lot of work, guys, putting this this whole NWF championship match on, and now I got to do a lot more stuff. Like I got to do I got to do stuff for Mitch that he needs for social media. I got to do some other things and it's going to be all good. It's going to be all for the good. So, and then I'll be talking with Johnny. What's his name again? Johnny
McElroy.
McRae. He wants to interview me next week for his stuff. So, yeah, it's gonna be fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to working with you guys at this kids class, Keaton. As you know, I'm going
It'll
to
be fun.
working with the dropkick with you guys.
So will this then be on the same day as the show?
It will be.
Give Canary a bit of a time to
Will it be on?
finally give your payback.
What's that?
It's all the conversation of whether the kids training will be on, because
Well,
we'll have to take the ring and
okay.
move.
Well, here's the deal. I mean, if Nathan wants to move it, he might maybe move it to Monday night then.
We usually do Monday nights as
Yeah,
well.
because I was thinking the same thing. Maybe we got to do this on a Monday because I'll be there still.
Yeah.
And then I can say my proper goodbyes and everything too because I fly out Tuesday. That might be a better way to do it. So yeah. But in any event, yeah, it'll be. What did you say, Keaton? What?
Well, when you're over for the training session, Canary Kid can finally get his payback from, I suppose you'd call you a keyboard warrior.
Oh, I know he wants to do his. He definitely wants to do his drop kick, and I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, I'll drop kick you, no problem, Crusher.
John already said he'd let me demonstrate on him.
Well, I have a better drop kick than John anyway. I have a better drop kick.
No, I'm not asking John to. I'm going to drop kick.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not a good demonstration. Leave it to me.
Yeah, so I got it. Well, I can't. You got to. I can still do it. I just wish I was a little bit younger because it looked better. But I can still do it. Just sucks landing on a regular floor right now versus a ring. But. All right. Oh, we're here. All right. So now, guys, we're not done watching stuff yet. I got some more stuff to. I got some more stuff to show. And well, Ricky, are you ready?
I'm very ready. What is it?
No clue what's happening here.
We're gonna see something that is very, very, very old.
Oh no.
Wrestling.
Oh no.
You probably don't have a clue who I am. I'll introduce myself. My name's Ricky. And I'm
Very
a guy
first
who doesn't
promo, I
take no
believe.
for an answer. So John, you've awoken something in me like I've never felt before. A fire with blood. So next time I see you, it'll be in the ring for a match. And then when I beat you, you'll see who the real kid is, because there's a new kid on block. Get used to it.
I gotta stop it there. Name's Ricky. I love that part. That's just classic. But what a young Canary Kid here. And I don't even think it was Canary Kid yet. It was just Ricky Henry. But that I think was, Nathan told me right, that was his first test promo or something he sent in. So here is another one. Let's watch this one. These aren't, Ricky, you can be, it's all right, dude. It's only going to be 4 minutes or so of this. It ain't going to be a lot. So, all right. Here's the next one.
Calvin Kelshaw, I get right to the point and you're going to get ready for this. I want you to listen very closely, Jungle Boy, okay? No more boom, boom, boom and all that stuff. Stop acting like a Venga boy. Okay? Because when my associate John McCann gets a hold of you, you won't know your left or right. You don't know where your ups and downs are, because you will go straight up and straight down. You'll have to start learning, okay? Because when John gets a hold of you, you're finished. Run.
So there's another early one. And this next one coming up is my personal favorite. I think you like it, Keaton.
Oh, oui, magnifique. Oh, didn't see you there. My name's Benjamin Shane. You've all probably heard me before. And I'm looking to bring some class to NXT Wrestling. And for those who've lived under a rock and haven't heard of me, I am the most professional, classy performer in the world. So, next time you come to one of my shows, make sure to bring a camera. That's what we could say.
And how about this one? The only reason I'm playing this one is because I don't have it handy, but well, it's up over there. But when me and Ben, I think, or John were talking action figures, this guy was giving us a hard time. Oh, you're playing with your toy figures. You're playing with your toy figures.
This
And
is where
then-
it becomes better. This is where it starts getting less awful to watch.
And look who's playing with toy figures. I just had to point that out. All right, let's watch.
Yeah, me as a 14-year-old.
What have I told you about playing with dolls?
Actually, I'm not just playing. I'm trying to think of a game plan for a big match against Canada on this lynch.
It's a big match,
Yeah.
and it's not best to play with dolls just to plan it.
Yeah, you're right. I'll see you soon. Oh, and by the way, they're not dolls, they're action figures! Save.
Now, this, ladies and gentlemen, if I am right, if Nathan explained it right to me, this is his very, very first training match.
Very first singles training match.
Yeah, so let's take a look. It's not long. We only got about 2 minutes. It only goes about 2 minutes.
This is bad.
Ding ding.
There's a massive like mess up at the end.
Okay, I'm gonna bring the audio down, guys, so we can.
Patrick Patterson.
It is. This is hard to watch. You know what? I feel like someone's calling me right now, guys. Give me a sec.
Canary doesn't like watching this. Look at the size of Canary here. His arms are like he's skin and bones. Like I wasn't much better at his age, but I had a little bit of muscle. Canary's kind of skin and bones. His arms. And we'll talk to him about this, but do you remember, Keaton, you remember his nickname in the beginning?
Richard Rich.
No, not that. You'll hear Nathan calling him in the background. It's Prancer. And there's a reason. And if you watch this match, you'll see why he calls him Prancer.
This is crazy.
Now, some of this isn't bad. That wasn't bad. Those aren't bad arm drags. Drop over toe hold. Well, he didn't do the toe hold, but he did a drop over. Nope.
1, 2.
Now watch, I'm going to show you. Look at the clothesline. Now watch the clothesline Ricky takes here. There's the elbow. Now watch this clothesline right coming up here. Watch this one, guys. This is the best part coming up when Ricky's going to take a clothesline evenally.
1, 2. Oh, you don't know me, don't you? Shut up, Prancer.
He says Prancer. Yeah.
Yeah, Prancer. And look at that. He didn't even hit him. Now, I'm not going to give him too much trouble on that because, man, we had enough of those too. But,
1, 2.
but that clothesline missed by a mile.
No, we're not talking about the clothesline. We're not talking about the match. This is awful. This is actually. I was having fun watching like the older stuff, but like this has actually ruined this entire podcast for me. This was an awful episode. Worst episode we've had yet.
So now I know that, Canary, I know you're mad, and I know I'm probably going to meet him in the tarmac when I get land because he's going to be ready to fight. But now we won't have a problem getting Canary and Crusher in the ring. But listen, I promised Nathan I would do that. He was wanting me to do this for a lot of shows. Yes,
Was it
that was
Nathan?
It was
Okay,
Nathan that
he'll-
wanted all that.
Oh.
And I just before you're going to try to beat me up when I get there, listen to this. I could have done that with Drake. I could have done that with who else do we have? Smalls and stuff. And I saved it for Keaton, who probably seen a lot of that already anyway. So, and that was for you.
Seen any of it?
Everyone starts, so everyone starts somewhere.
Everyone starts.
Exactly. And not only that, Canary, I feel your pain because every other week on Rewind, we got to watch some stuff that I can't stand.
So bad.
So when I see
struggle to
our
watch my early matches, never mind before I even had my first match.
and the missed clothesline, I'm not going to give you too much on it because we did enough of that too. But
Me and John did it in our like match that gets called one of the best matches NIPW NXT ever had. We did that. John was meant to hit me a clothesline and went like this.
Yeah.
Because he didn't think he was supposed to, which you still should never go like that. You should just still follow through. And yeah, I bumped it without getting hit, which also I should have just been ready to run for it. But nope.
Still one of the best matches, but
Yeah, it was a great match, but oh god, that was brutal.
So guys, now that we've seen some of that, I'm going to bring in a little bit better quality stuff here that I'm going to show you of us, of me. But it's not a whole lot. It's just remember when and this ties into what I want to relate with Canary and Ben, really. Because I always tell everybody that this is the new era of wrestling. That's why we're doing this NWF Championship match. We're gonna reintroduce the belt to the new era of cutting edge and doing things that are just innovative. Innovative is the word I'm looking for. Coming up with maneuvers that maybe nobody's seen before, or twists on them and that, right? So I'm going to show you something I did back, and I've talked about it. I've just never showed it. When we did a move, a double suplex crossbody block, which in this time period, like now it's probably happened maybe, but in the mid 80s, nobody's seen anything like this, right? The Rockers were doing it, but it wasn't a double clothesline. And it's hard because I'll show it when I put it in, but it's hard because you got to clear both their heads or else you're crushing somebody. So I'll show you that, and then it's not very long. But of course, when I bring this in, I have to, if it plays. Oh, no, it's not going to load. I'll have to bring it in the hard way.
Oh, boo.
Well, that's fine. I can bring it in the hard way. Not the hard way, but I can get it in. Hang on. This is annoying, guys. We're gonna have problems on our future shows if this keeps happening. Let's see. I got to do this. Just give me 1 second. There we go. All right, let me find it. It's okay. I know where it is. It's right here. There we go. There we go. I'll just bring it in this way. It kind of sucks that it's not playing though, you know. But it'll play this way. All right. Fix this quick. You guys are so lucky you got HD. You don't have to do this. There we go. I have to crop it. All right. So this is actually the biggest crowd I ever wrestled in front of. About 700 people here. This is Irondale High School. This is NCWA. I only did a couple shows with this league, but this was a 6-man tag. But we wanted to give them something that they'd never seen before. So we did this suplex with the crossbody, and it was very like nobody. You can hear the crowd react the way they react because it was so like nobody's. You have to understand, like today this would be like probably the norm, but in this time, nobody's seen anything like that, right? So I want you to keep that in mind. But of course, I can't. You know, Crusher Cross, and he can't show that without showing a little bit of the match. So. I'll get the audio out.
Dread very systematic about how he does things.
Yeah, so I'm going to show you. I mean, we got to show Crusher Cross and some wrestling moves. So obviously, I got tagged in. So we got to show a little bit of this before we get to that suplex. This is Chris Logan. He was a good. It's Chris Logan I'm in the ring with. He was just green. Like he came. Okay, I'm going to explain that. That was okay, but I got to stop this. I got to stop that. That looked like crap because when you do here's the thing with a flying drop kick, Keaton, and we're not going to go over them, but when you do a flying drop kick, when you go into the air, I'm no longer in control of that drop kick. Now it's up to the guy I'm drop kicking to gauge me. And Logan was just so new that he just came into me too much. And so I'll just show you what happened. But it's kind of a little learning thing for you, Keaton. Keep this in mind. Oh, shit, I missed it. I'll go back. Okay. All right, so watch what he does. Once I'm in the air now, he was too close to me. He came into me too much, right?
Yep.
So it was okay. It still worked, but that kind of stuff annoyed the hell out of me back then. Chris Logan was just new. He just was new.
Sloppy on his cover, forgot to hook the leg. That's one thing
Mike, I did it intentionally because I wanted him to kick out. See, anytime we don't hook a leg in these days, it's intentional. I suppose you get, and his chops, yeah, they echoed, and then you would be left with a handprint, a literal handprint on your chest. All right, this after this body slam, I think he throws him in, and then we'll see that move I'm telling you guys about. Yeah, that had to hurt. So here it comes. Now you know the Rockers finish, right? How they did it? Okay, so it's the same move, only it's a double. So
I love the Rockers.
Oh, look out. This could be double suplex.
Oh.
That's insane. That's very ahead of your time, to be fair.
it really was like
Class.
we did rehearse it a couple times, you know, just to make sure we could get it off. You know, not here, but when we had the ring in our training where we were training at the time. But yeah, that was just kind of. It was just kind of like. And so my point, I think we're done here. Yeah, we're done with this. So my point is, it was just cutting edge, like at that time. So that's my whole point with this NWF belt, bringing it over to Ireland, is because you guys are cutting edge now. You're the innovators. You're the ones that are taking wrestling moves and maybe twisting them a little bit or coming up with something nobody's seen. So that's what that belt's all about. I mean, you're going to be an NWF champ. It's because you're part of it, and it doesn't. You don't have to be a kid. You don't have to be a teenager. You just have to be part of the new era. You know what I mean? Yeah, and exactly. As good as it was for us back then, and stuff, and now you look at it and you're like, yeah, we could easily do that, sure, and you could. But back then, people were like, holy shit! You heard all the crowd was like, whoa, like they just never seen it, right? So it's kind of cool. So then the other thing, you know, with all this, I hope these come in. Otherwise, I'll have to bring them in the other way. But let's see if this works, because I've been getting so much heat on this. All right, good, it works. That drop kick that Kelsey claims I dislocated his jaw. I've just got this on loop. We're just going to watch it. We're going to keep watching it. It was fast, though. I didn't realize how fast I was going until I see it now when it keeps repeating. But look at how fast I went at him. But
it was like cut.
I know the camera didn't get it all, but right there is, you know. But I was flying through the air, you know, so it just doesn't get it all.
Like, to be completely honest, it does look like his show was dislocated from that move. It doesn't look like your boot was what caused it, though. He threw up his hands like that for it, and you see his hand, right, if you can get it paused perfectly, his hand hits himself in the mouth, plus your boot, I think popped his jaw out.
It does tap him, but, you know, the thing is, when you get a dislocated jaw, though, it's usually you get like slugged, like somebody punches you like bad. That's what usually with dislocated jaw. Not a little tap.
But what I'm saying is, you hit him in the you hit his hand, and his hand then cracks against his face. He may have like flinched into himself as well. All of that added with your boot coming into his hand, he basically punched himself super hard in the jaw. And he also might have had his mouth open. He made it open his mouth last second right there. Oh, boom. You know? Like, it makes sense that he dislocated his jaw off that move.
I don't think he did, though, honestly. It's not enough. I'm not hitting him enough. I'm just not hitting him enough. I'm not getting enough of him.
I'm not saying it's your hit. I'm saying you hit his hand. You hit his hand.
Right. No, I'm not. Look, I'm not saying that we didn't connect it, but I don't think that little tap like that is enough to make it dislocate.
Look at his jaw. His jaw goes
inwards.
Look, his jaw goes inwards.
No, he just turned. You know, he just turned.
Don't try to defend yourself, Crusher.
Look at his jaw.
And here's my other proof in this case. We didn't hear a damn thing about a dislocated jaw in these days. And believe me, if that was dislocated, I was friends with all the moms. I would have heard from Matt's mom in a heartbeat on this if that happened. That's why I'm saying the jury's kind of out on this. But another thing, Keaton, since we got this, since I got this in slow motion, though, what I wanted to show you, Keaton, on this drop kick, and this is something I'm going to talk about with you guys. It's very important, and for me, that see how my feet clasp together when I kick, perfectly.
Yeah.
That to me is what makes a drop kick what we used to call pretty or sweet. That's sweet, right? Because And you don't have to. Some people make the mistake of wanting to clasp their feet right out of the gate and do the whole jump and kick, and you don't need to do that. But you need to come together right when you kick. That's where you want to do it.
Yeah.
Right?
For me personally, recently when it comes to keeping my feet together, I do the one where I keep my feet together the entire time.
Yeah,
But
I mean
to
it's
an
not
extent-
wrong. I mean it's not bad.
Yeah, so for me, my feet aren't wide when I do it, but I wouldn't say they're like that. They're just kind of closer. I jump up like this, like facing them, hit it, and then turn with the kick. I use their chest to push off into the turn, but I could drop kick off them at the same time because I've just gotten used to it now.
Now the landing, I can't really talk about the land. This isn't a standing drop kick landing because when you're flying, you're going to land wherever you land. But what I was hoping I could show you, I don't have a standing one, is it's very important. A lot of people make the mistake to land like this, and that's how you sprain your wrists. So you want to land either forearm or slap, right?
Like that is a good one.
Yeah, slap it, either slap or there's nothing wrong with doing a forearm either. A double forearm, land like that, your fists.
All round though, for me, from time to time, I'll still land like this for the simple fact I'm double jointed. I can take the pressure most of the time. Like I can take mad pressure on like you guys. Like I can take.
Oh, I don't like
pressure
seeing
on-
that. I don't like seeing that.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my
I
god.
can take mad pressure on my body parts. Like
That
I should.
if you do that in person, I'm gonna kill you. Don't do that. God, does that freak me out?
Oh, it's
Jesus.
just like,
Jesus.
It'll freak you out even more when the Canary Kid, when you're in a training session with the Canary Kid, and you can't really work behind the scenes.
I really wish I could do my back drop. I wish I could sell my shoulder drop when he drop kicks me, because that's how I would take a drop kick. I don't know if I can do it anymore. But let's get out of this. I think that's all I had to show, wasn't it? Yeah, that drop
I
kick.
think so.
That's all I had to show. I'm gonna get back to our screen. 'Cause this is getting annoying. All right, there. So yeah, I don't know. You guys think I dislocated his jaw? I don't.
I didn't
did.
say
I
you
think it
did.
was just
I
training
said
himself.
I could see why it could happen. Because his hand was like that, and then you see his hand go into his mouth. He could have punched himself in the mouth.
Yeah, maybe, possibly.
Just give him
But
a
no,
bit of
what I
pressure.
was saying about the running drop kick though, like it's on a running drop kick. It is the other guy's. And actually that's Kelsey's fault if I did even. It's his job to gauge me. Not when I'm in the air flying. He now has to gauge it. So
For me, when I take a drop kick, I don't throw up my hands either.
yeah,
That's just how we were taught. I know Crooks,
yeah,
Stevie
I did
Crooks,
that.
he always tells me that we actually talked about it on Wednesday because I drop kicked him on Wednesday. It was a sweet drop kick. Boys went nuts for it. But I drop kicked him and he goes, I'm starting to realize it's much easier to throw up my hands and push you away because he said it doesn't touch him, but everyone went crazy because they thought he got
Right.
laced. So he's able to push it at the last second to make it look like, and it makes me go round easier. So I think that's okay, but you can't go like that because then your hands are further out than what you gauged.
Right.
So you end up gauging for him to be here, and he throws up his hands, and then now you've pushed, thinking you've got him, and it's going to make him punch himself.
yeah.
You shouldn't. You should always just walk in, chest up, because realistically, you're aiming for this area. If you hit
Yeah,
the drop
this is
kick.
where you should be hitting it, or the shoulder. A lot of guys will do a drop kick on the shoulder so they can do a turn bump, right?
I always
and
just
then
do
the
the
other guy
turn bump,
turns.
whether it hits me here. John always used to get me here, and it never bothered me because John doesn't lace you with a drop kick. John hits it nice. Like almost every clip of me and John's match, if you can see where he hits my drop kick, a lot of the time he hits me here. But it's
Yeah.
fine. Like again, as long as I'm not getting pelted right in the nose, I don't mind where it hits me, or if it's below the waist. I don't want that either. I hate being the guy who tries to teach someone how to drop kick, like when I'm the one being the dummy for it, because like it's just constant lacing really low, and I'm like, oh, so I always have to stand there like that, ready for it.
I wasn't laughing at you,
Yeah.
Canary. I'm just laughing at the comments. Dixie, Dave, and Ben are going toe to toe in the comments.
Oh, let's get them in.
I mean, they're just going back and forth. It's just it's kind of funny, to be honest with you. But I there's just too many of them. I don't know where to start. They're just going back and forth. But anyways, yeah. No, I'm sorry, Canary. What were you saying with that? I don't want to.
Oh, the people heard me. I was just saying that
No, but I didn't
hate-
hear. So.
hate being the dummy for the drop kicks because it hits me below the waist a lot of the time.
For the little kids.
Not even no for the grown like adult class.
I'll
Like
get
when
you. I won't. I'll hit you in the chest. I won't hit
no,
you
I
in the
know
face.
you will. I mean, when the adults are doing their first drop kick,
Oh, yeah.
they always don't know how to get the height, and I have to stand there like this, holding my nuts, so it doesn't get it. But then at the same time, it means I'm not protecting anywhere else. They're never good enough to hit here. They're never good enough to hit here the first couple of times. But
Yeah.
that is right in the arm hurts. That
it's
hurts
so
way.
it's so much nicer landing in a ring too. When I've been, I haven't thrown a drop kick in 35 years. So I had to make sure I still could. I know how to do it. So but I got to know if my body can do it. So all I can land on is the damn floor, and it hurts. So I know when you're in a ring, it's so much better. But yeah, landing on a wood floor, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Not a fun place to do a drop kick at my age. All right.
definitely not.
But yeah, that's gonna be fun. But that's what I'm gonna try to show because, and then I want to show that, like I was telling Keaton, I'm gonna show this for those who don't know. I'm gonna have to demonstrate it again. For those who don't know how to do a standing jump, because some people can't do that Owen Hart jump.
Oh, here we go.
So what you want to do, there's a way to do a drop kick where you just lead with your lead leg and then bring your other leg up and do the drop kick and drop down. So you don't have to get the jump. I told you that earlier. That's a good way to start if you're having trouble getting the jump. Because then once you get comfortable doing that, then you'll be able to ease into actually jumping. So that was the two ways Eddie taught us. He taught us the lead in like that, where you lead with your right. Well, me, right. And was I asking you, Keaton or Ricky? I don't know if Nathan, is Nathan one of these guys that wants everybody to go right?
Oh, it wasn't me, yes. I hope not, because I think I go left.
Okay, well, I mean, when I say that, like I'm right-handed, right? So I'm going to throw a right punch.
He always tells you he's all about leading with the right.
Yeah, so if you're going to drop kick, if I'm right-handed, I'm going to lead with my right. Now, Eddie Sharkey.
What way you turn? Because I was going to be like, I always lead with the right, turn on the left. But I get what you mean.
Yeah, I'm turning to this way, because I'm right-handed. If I'm left-handed, I'm going to want to go the opposite. And Eddie Sharkey and Greg Gagne too, they were big on this, that you do it which hand you are, because, and Eddie had a way he said this. He's something like, yes, if you're right-handed, you can sign your name with your left hand, but it's going to look like shit. Yeah. Same with a drop kick. You can do a left, if you're right-handed, you can do a drop kick on the left, but it's going to look like shit. So he always wanted you to go. This is a huge debate with the drop kick, you guys. Some trainers always want you turning right. Others, they want you to go with what you are, right-handed or left-handed. Because when you're left-handed, you punch left, you lift left, right? If you're right-handed, you're going to do it the opposite. That's what I was trying to say. But if Nathan is big on going the one way all the time, like I've seen yours, Canary, you do it like I do. You go this way.
Yeah.
That's right-handed.
Keaton, you're left-handed, right?
Yeah, I'm left-handed.
Yeah. And so were you trying to go this way doing it, Keaton, or were you trying to go this way?
The left way, I think.
What way? What boot do you throw up first?
Left or right?
Left.
Left, right.
Yeah, because that's you're left-handed.
So then you're turning right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I guess I see what you're saying now. You're talking about the turn. But
yeah, the turn.
So yeah, like left-footed, right-handed, left-handed. That's what I'm getting at. And but some trainers are just adamant about it. You got to go to the right. You got to go to the right. And left-handed people struggle with that. And that, I was going to say, if you were being forced to do it that way, I can see why you're having trouble. So, but if Nathan does it that way, I don't want to show you guys to do it the other way, because that wouldn't be bad. So,
but
Ricky, you've seen me obviously from when I started on week 1 and into now. Obviously, you've trained me through the whole time. What do you think I've improved on the most?
Yeah,
fundamentals for sure. Easy, so easy to say for me, because Keaton, for me, I've seen like a lot of the kids who come in, I see them like, I see what they're good at, right? So this is what I'll give to Keaton. I'll see a kid come in, and let's just say, I know this isn't a real person, so I'm just throwing in a fake name. Let's just say a guy called Lil Tommy starts. Lil Tommy's a small kid, he's fast, and naturally he's always going to be the kid who nearly breaks every bone trying to do a roll because he just throws himself into it, and then he'll get in, he'll do arm drags, and he'll be like super quick with it and super fast with everything. Um, Meanwhile, Keaton on his first day couldn't roll. He
Yeah.
really struggled with lockups, really struggled with almost everything. We even saw him, he struggled to get in the ring.
Yeah.
But now, if I see what Keaton does almost 3 years on, he's locking up with ease. He's doing the rolls probably to the best standard in the class. He's able to do basic chain wrestling to such a good degree. He has the fundamentals in his back pocket so easily. And yes, Keaton's probably one of the biggest kids there. It's him and another kid called Eli. They're the two biggest there. So when it comes to hitting like an up and over or hitting like something like a drop kick, I don't expect him, and no one does, expects Keaton to be the best at the drop kick or the
Right.
best at a float
Yeah.
over or something like that. But when you get Keaton in there, which is really good for Keaton's future as someone who is of a bigger stature, if you get Keaton really good at the fundamentals and really good at the British chain wrestling, that's a gimmick you can see right there. The big,
Yeah.
Mhm,
the
definitely.
big bruiser who can get in the ring and out
Exactly.
wrestle guys. That's
It's
what Keaton has. You
it's
know?
like
Actually sounds like a good
it's
character.
Keaton.
Yeah,
It's like
it's
remember.
awesome.
It's like I think I was telling your dad this. You know, you need to find. Not everybody is going to be a high flyer, and you know a technical wrestler, whatever. You got to find what your style is. So your style might be something different. Maybe you might not be doing all these moves that you're not comfortable with. You got to find where your comfort zone is eventually, and that's the style you get. You know, that's one thing I don't like. I'm going to be honest with you guys. That's one thing I don't like about wrestling today is everybody's the same. Like for the most part, like everybody's trained the same. They can do the same. It's the same. Back in the day, you'd have a high flyer. You'd have a really good technical wrestler. You'd have a big brawler, and you'd get these really cool matchups, right?
Yeah.
And I wish that would come back again in a way, you know. So you can,
That's what I like about what we have, because I can name you like a handful of powerhouses, a handful of high flyers, a handful of technicians, a handful of brawlers. Like I can name you like for if we're talking about trainees of Nathan Hoy, who we have on the current roster. When it comes to a brawler, we have people like Brandon Jenkins and Stevie Fee. When it comes to like a big powerhouse, we have Samson Law, we have Half Dan, we have people. We have this new guy Malice who just debuted. We have people like that. When it comes to the high flying side, I don't class myself as a high flyer. I don't do much high flying stuff. But for the high flying side of things, we have people like Ben Nelson coming in, who's a great high flyer. When it
yeah,
comes
Yeah.
to the technical wrestling side of things, which I class myself a little bit more on that side, you have
yeah,
myself. DD Crooks, he matches literally every single one. He's a freak of nature. Brawling, you have Sage
Honestly, yeah.
Valentine. Jordan Nelson's another all rounder. Jordan Nelson can do a lot of things.
You know what
But
I
when you
know? You know
look
what I
at our
noticed at
roster,
Jordan?
it's
Though? I'm going to
amazing.
say this about Jordan. I got to just say this because you just reminded me. He has a good promo, but you know what the thing he needs to work on with this promo?
Stuttering.
Well, he goes one speed. He goes one speed and kind of quick, and doesn't like for instance, Canary.
Ben, clip this if you're watching.
This is what I'm going to do to you. All right, I'm going to get pausing, giving it a little break, giving people time to take in what you're saying. You know what I'm saying?
That's a superpower that I only realized that everyone has access to. It's a secret weapon. See, for me with my promos, I like to think I was always good for my experience at a promo. Like I wasn't very experienced at promos, so for my standard, it wasn't too bad. Now I like to think I'm a good promo. But like,
No, that promo you did was pretty good. That last
yeah.
one.
So if you watch what I'm doing, I'll talk, and I'll pause. I'll talk, I'll sell the back. Oh, and I talk again. Talk, start getting hyped up, calm. Because think
Yeah,
about it,
you got to give the crowd time to react.
you have
What
to
you're
look.
saying.
See if you want to know how to do a good promo. There's so many people to look at, but some of the best ones are go to CM Punk, go to Cactus Jack, go to people like that, like Mankind, his promos. Like you look at those, Jake the Snake. Look at those guys and how they speak. How they Cody Rhodes is an underrated promo. Look at people like that and how they carry themselves, and it's all about having a good vocabulary. See if you're going to come into a
Yeah.
promo and you're going to say like, "This Sunday, I'm going to beat your ass, and when I beat your ass, I'm going to prove that I'm the best at beating ass." See if you don't change up your vocabulary, or if you just say the word beat and stuff like that. That's kind of boring.
And don't
You want
say the same. Everybody says the same thing. He's going down.
Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, that's gonna get us going, right?
Oh, that's amazing.
I
Jimmy
mean,
Big Bollocks over there just said the exact same line about this other guy, and he didn't do it. So what makes me think you'll do it? No, that's not how it's going to happen. You have to change it up. You have to
yeah.
work. See if you look at DD Crooks promo, and then you look at my promo. So different. I don't even think DD Crooks likes my promos. I actually respect Dylan's. He's going to hate me for saying his name. But DD, he's very like he has his way of doing promos, and he's not really interested in the other ways of doing promos. I do promos a little bit different. I cut a promo like you got Johnny Depp and made him angry and put him in front of a camera. Like that's how I like to see my promos. But then I also take inspiration from the people like CM Punk, like Cactus Jack that I see before who gets so passionate and fired up and angry.
Right.
And that's what you want. You want to tell that story. Obviously, if I'm not angry and I'm not have nothing to be angry about, I'm not going to cut an angry promo. That's kind of
Right.
sad for me. I love
And
cutting angry promos. But
Ricky,
like,
we've talked about this a lot. Your promo and your character is half your gimmick. And so some guys might be really good in the ring, but they have no character.
yeah,
And so
like
it does nothing.
an example that who gave it. I want to say his name, but then I don't want to say he gave it in case he didn't give it. But I'm just going to say he did, and hopefully it was him. It was Damien Corvin actually spoke about gimmicks, and he said, "I really feel like I'm saying the wrong person. It might have been Drew Onyx, but I'll just say it was Corvin." But Corvin literally said about it, and he said, for an example, look at Roderick Strong, and he goes, and obviously you don't know him, Crusher Keaton, you know Roderick Strong. He goes,
Yeah.
he's a good wrestler, but he's what's his character? He's Roderick Strong. He's not got a character. He's a great wrestler, but he's Roderick Strong. You know,
Yeah.
that's it. And
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
it. Like for me, I like to think I'm an alright wrestler. I'm a much better character than I am ever a wrestler. That's what happens when you were the drama kid in school. That's what I am. I was always interested in drama. So I naturally took to the character side of things a little bit better. I still look back at my own stuff and go, "What are you doing? This character stuff's awful." But I'm not at a point where I'll probably say in 5 years' time if I look back and go, "This stuff's awful." What I'm doing now, but right now, I'm happy with what I do because I took inspiration from outside things in wrestling. Because please, as much as I say, look at those guys for promos, I mean, look at the passion they have for their promos. Please, when it comes to making a character, don't get inspired by another wrestler because, funny enough, they've already done it.
Well, no, but
Exactly.
that's where everybody gets their inspiration. But what you need to be able to do is change it up. Don't do the same
Yeah,
thing.
like
You got to take. You can be influenced, but then make it your own. Do something different. Make it creative. You
for
know.
me, with my gimmick and well, in recent times anyway, in the last like couple of months, for my character and the direction I've been moving recently, I've took inspiration from glam rock. That's what I've looked at. Like if you look at people, who's a good example? Mick Jagger, Keaton, you like your rock, you know Mick Jagger.
Yeah.
That's someone I took a lot of inspiration from. The
Mick
likes of
Jagger.
him, like Prince, Freddie Mercury, people like that are who I like to take inspiration from because, funny enough, give me a wrestling Mick Jagger, there isn't one. Give me a wrestling. I'm not going to say Prince because there was one, but give me a wrestling. You know, Freddie Mercury. You can't really give me one who really embodies the passion of those people. You can't, or the
The
slickness
only
and
thing
the
close I can get
cockiness.
to
You
Mick
know,
Jagger, the only thing I can get close to Mick Jagger is Jesse the Bad, and he wasn't lying. He's like, he was the art of a promo, and he'd come out there and he'd say,
Yeah.
you know, he'd say like, I was the bodyguard for the Rolling Stones because they were in town, you know, and he was friends with the band, so he actually he wasn't lying. but he would put that in his promos, you know, and he was so good for a talker. Couldn't
well,
bump, couldn't do anything. He was not a wrestling bumper
couldn't.
at all.
It's so
Adrian
funny hearing
Adonis did all the damn work. I mean, he
hearing
was
people
a
talk
cat in
about
the ring.
Bobby Ventura. Like it's so funny hearing people talk about him.
Yeah.
But
No, he couldn't
yeah, the
work.
point I'm making is if you're going to be inspired, look at pop culture. Don't look at wrestlers because they've already done it. Unless it's a really like, and to a degree, this is really scummy to do. But if you really cannot get inspired by anything else other than wrestling, look at a wrestler who isn't really successful yet, and think what you could do with their gimmick, but make it better. And please don't do it from someone in Ireland or in your area that you might encounter, because then they're like, "Hey, you know." But if you can find like a wrestler from like Uruguay who's doing a gimmick and you're like, they're not really good at this gimmick. This is so scummy to do, by the way. Please don't do it unless you have no other way. But if you see a wrestler from like Uruguay who's not really good at the gimmick but has a nice idea there, you can go, oh, I'll take that and then just add all this into it, what it needs. Then that's, I guess, there's some way to find inspiration, but I would just look at pop culture because you're not really stealing from another wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you take it from a different art, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And again, look at something that hasn't been done before, you know. Trying to think of people who train with us. I know John McCann's all he's inspired by his other wrestlers. Trying to think who's
Okay,
Didi
now
Crooks. It's just Didi Crooks. He's just himself.
I
Stevie.
did promise I'd bring a couple of Ben's comments in because he had some things he wanted to say to you, Canary. So I got to give him his fair share.
Oh God,
right?
do I have the answer? No. Okay, thanks.
Now this was when you were doing your rant, I imagine. So let's just see what he said. I haven't really read him word for word, so this is the first one. Are you ready? So this is what he said when you were talking. All right. Ben says he tried to take my opportunity at a title, so I took his. I gave him a wake-up call. All he's done is sleep on me, and he's going to pay the price.
All right, can we keep moving through these?
So that was what he said, and then he followed up with that with bros crashing out. What's that mean? RN?
Like get
Go
oh
on.
right now.
Crashing out right now. His head's gone. If you watch our matches, you can tell when his face changes. He knows he can't beat me, and he'll see it on May 17th. And see you soon, Canary. XX.
This guy. Next one.
So that was the two big ones, and then
Yeah.
he was mainly listening. And then him and Dave have just been going back and forth. And I got to say, Ben, thank you for doing my dirty work. But Ben, you're not off the hook. Yeah, let me tell you why I don't like outside interference, because I have been screwed over so many times by it. I don't like outside interference. It's like it's the worst thing that happens in this business, because it's out of your control. But my bigger concern is that the fact that now you got a taste of cheating, and I don't know where that's going to lead. So,
Oh yeah.
we have a championship match to get to, guys, and I'm thinking back, Ricky, when we first announced this, when I broke the news to you guys. Remember, it was a surprise, and you were speechless. And you and Ben started out with good intentions, and I don't know how you guys got off the rails. I really don't know how this happened, but it did. And if you guys both don't get on the track again, when I say on track, I'm just saying focused. I'm not asking you guys to go in and play nice and pat each other on the back and, pat each other on the ass when you do a good move or whatever. No, you come into this and you fight, but you do it with respect. And that's all I'm going to ask of you guys. And you just need to figure it out, because this championship match right around the corner. And I'll tell you this though. What's Dixie Dave saying? Let's bring in one of Dave's comments. He's been crying that his
I
comments.
also
are coming
found like 3 questions for Crusher on like Keaton. So
Crusher, you need to get off your high horse, because the problems between Ricky and Ben is your fault. Well, Dave, I don't know what Dave was going to try to join us in here, and he can't get on somehow. And he has the link. I don't know if what's going on here, but this whole studio's been acting up. It's not playing videos. It's not something. We got to get this fixed, guys. But anyway, I mean, I can't even play videos and stuff, so something's messed up. I'm surprised that. Did you have any issues getting in?
Me?
Did it let you in? Yeah, when you came on.
I was perfectly fine getting in, yeah.
Okay, it's weird. Anyways, he thinks it's my fault that you guys are. And Dave, all I'm going to say to that is I'm not the one that kicked his knee. I didn't do that. I didn't kick his knee. That was him.
I don't actually want to talk about this much, so I'm just going to briefly say it. It's not Crusher's fault completely, right? It's not. Sometimes when someone gets the slightest bit of an opportunity, an ego forms, and that's what happened with Ben Nelson. I've had the opportunities. I've had the big moments. I've been a champion already, so I know how it feels to be a champion. Ben doesn't. So what happened with Ben was it's like Aladdin when he gets the genie's lamp. He becomes really greedy, and he thinks that he has to do all these things to really live up to this expectation that he doesn't actually think he can live up to. And because of that, he just became an egomaniac who seeks sympathy and tells all these sob stories about himself to try and get other people's attention. So it isn't Crusher's fault directly, but he did dangle a needle in front of an addict. That's what I'll say.
I didn't dangle nothing in front of Ben. Ben, you made the choice to go in there and interfere. Everybody is responsible for their own actions, just like Canary is responsible for starting it. And Ben, you're responsible for what you did. And it's time everybody starts taking responsibility for what they did, including Dixie Dave trying to instigate further. So I'll tell you something. All this tension, and that's what a world title does, because this is not just a championship, this is a world championship. And I'll tell you something, you guys, whoever wins this, when you go into an area with a world title, you got a target on your back. Because everybody's going to be coming at you, and you got to be ready for anything.
You know what? The thing is, Crusher, I'm used to having a target on my back because not only was I a champion already, but see, when you're one of the most talented people in the entire country, people come for you already. People have came for my head from day one. You may as well put a sign on my back and said, guillotine me, because that's all people want to do. People want to chop my head off like it's a French Revolution, right? And that's what happens. You know, what's the saying? Something as heavy as the head who wears the crown or something. That's what happens to me. All right, and I'm used to it. I've had people come for me time and time again. Look at the former champions. Sage Valentine was a former, junior heavyweight champion. Who do you think gave him his first NIPW NXT match? Me. Jordan Nelson, the current champion. Who gave him his first ever championship match? Me. John McCann, the first ever champion. Who faced him for that championship in the main event? Me.
And stop right there. Stop right there on McCann. No. I'll let you get back. But you're on McCann. You're on John McCann. When you had the match with John McCann.
Here we go, Crusher.
Yes, I got it. I am stopping you.
Oh, here we go.
Because you talk too much otherwise.
I'm trying to make a point.
Now listen, you will. Okay, fine. I'll let you make your point, but then you're going to shut up and listen
100%.
after this point is made.
DD Crooks. I'd find apart DD Crooks. The tied longest reign champ ever. Who helped him win the title? Me. I got involved in that match because I was swept up, and that's the only time I've ever cheated. I helped DD Crooks win a title, and guess what? I realized he earned my ways and took the title off him. I'm the gatekeeper, and that's why people win their championships. It's because they get the rub of the canary. It's been a common theme. Now, you were saying about John McCann?
That was the last time I seen you fight a fight with not only heart and soul, but you did everything right. And then after you spent time in pure filth, you were a changed canary when you came out of that. And the thing is this: Ben Nelson didn't have the opportunity you did with John McCann. John didn't go after you like you went after him. So I don't know why you seem to think it was appropriate to go after him so rough like you did with the knee. John didn't go after you like that. And you ended up having a very good, clean match. And you kept fighting through it. And that's the thing that people are missing. That's why you're getting booed. So you have to realize, Canary, that this is not going to end well for you if you keep doing this. You know what the problem is when you start doing, you're not breaking the rules, but when you start playing dirty pool like that, you start losing a sense of respect for yourself and your own confidence in what you can do with your abilities, because you figure I can just take the easy way, and it becomes easy. And so you don't have to fight as hard, and you start losing the heart and soul. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Now, I know...
For sure. Sorry to interrupt there, but I'm going to need to go now.
Oh, all right, Keaton. Sorry.
I need to do mental stuff with my diabetes.
Yep, for your diabetes.
Not
all
problem,
right.
Keaton.
Yeah.
Good having you on.
Okay, thanks. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah,
Not a problem.
thanks.
Have a good one, Keaton.
See you.
Yep.
Bye.
Yeah, I forgot about his diabetes.
Yeah,
we ramble on so much with our talk, and we actually haven't been too long. We're getting towards the end of the show.
Longer than usual, anyway. It's almost 2 hours. Usually we're about an hour and 20 max.
But we started 2 hours early tonight, so that's good for you.
Yeah.
But what I was trying to say, I lost my train of thought.
You seem to do that a lot. You were saying about how I allegedly lost the heart and soul in me.
No, I'm serious about heart and soul, because here the problem with, and this is for both of you. The problem when you get rage and anger to consume you, you don't notice it, but everybody else does. That's why I say you're hearing the boos, because they're seeing it. That's why they're booing. But you don't see it because you think it's my heart and soul. It's in disguise, though. Rage and anger consume heart and soul. And so when I was trying to say what I seen on the footage that was graciously provided to me, is that you let Ben get the best of you, because you let him get you mad and you lost focus on the match and the belt that mattered. That's what matters. Next time you're in that situation, you got to get rid of that, and you got to go back in there and fight, and then you deal with what happened to you. Then you go deal with Ben, but not in the heat of the moment. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's the point I was trying to make. Now, Canary, you and I, we have our differences. I'm not expecting you to take everything I say and say, okay, you're right. But you have to realize that, yes, everybody is after you. You're the little kid. You're the one that they think isn't going to matter. I had that too. You forget, I wasn't a big guy. I call myself Big Crush. But I wasn't Big Crush. I wasn't much bigger than you. So I know exactly what you're talking about and how people stare at you. And I was during a time when you weren't a small guy in this business. At least now you can be. So I know. You think I don't, but I do. So I know I hear you. But all I'm going to say is, let's see what happens the 17th. What is your prediction?
Well, my honest prediction is that we're going to realize Ben Nelson's bit off more than he can chew for the time being. I'm not going to lie to everyone. I'm not. I'm going to be honest. Ben Nelson, in about a year, could be less, could be not just going for a championship, but could be on a whole nother level. He could overtake me, no problem, right?
Look at his brother, right?
Yeah, look at his brother Jordan. Look, Jordan's a champion, and Ben and Jordan are very, very similar.
He's right behind him.
Yeah. So if you're
at least potentially.
Yeah, if you're honestly asking me what I think, I do not think Ben is ready. And I've said that from day one. If I thought he was ready, I would say I think he's ready. I don't. I don't think he's ready for a championship. And I don't think he's ready for me yet. He hasn't had this sort of challenge yet. So I do believe that this Saturday, May 17th, I'm going to come out the bigger man, and we're going to have to talk about whatever plan you have in mind. But for the time being, I do not think that Ben Nelson will win this Saturday. I don't think he has what it takes. And that's just me being honest. And I am a very, very frustrated person right now, and I'm trying to keep myself calm as much as possible. I know I lash out at the start, so I'm trying to, remain after thinking. I realize I need to calm down because we're on a professional setting. But I will say that I am frustrated, and I will be, I'll not be coming in to wrestle.
It's a big match.
It's a big match on Saturday, of course, and I'm not coming in to wrestle. I'm honestly, I'm coming in with anger, and I feel like I'm going to take it out on Ben Nelson.
We'll see what happens. You know my opinion on this, but let's just see what happens. We'll see we'll go from there. I know Keaton will be there, and he'll provide me some early footage, and then we'll talk about it on the next show.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, let's just go over what's coming up here. And then Ricky and I got to take care of some stuff when we go off air. So let me show you what is coming up, guys. What is coming up first? Isn't it? It's Keaton show. So this is what we got coming up this Sunday. Now, hopefully, Keaton, I'll be with you. The only thing is, if I got a job, because I'm going to be gone a week over with you guys, I have to do every job I get right now. That's real life. So this is what we got coming up on Keaton show. Do you know this guy, Ricky? Harlan Wolf.
Yeah, I know. Nice guy.
I don't know what they meant by Mr. Muscles, because that confused everybody. But Harlan Wolf, he's going to be our guest with Keaton. That should be a great show on Sunday. And then the next Rewind show with me and Dixie Dave, and hopefully he can get in, and hopefully everything works. I'm concerned. I don't know what the hell's going on with our playbacks. But we'll be watching the second half of the first Armory card we did. And by the way, I forgot to mention this, Ricky. This May 9th, 1986 is the exact anniversary of this show. 39 years ago. Actually, it was on a Friday even. So that's kind of cool. Yeah. Friday, May 9th, 86 was the date as well. And so 39 years ago. And this is the second half. This is the strap match with Steve and I and his. Oh man, this is just memories of this one because I told Steve, I said, "See, what are we doing for straps? I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it." And then he comes in with these little tiny leather whips that were about a 1/4 inch wide. It just hurt. It hurt every time. It's like getting whipped with a weeping willow branch.
Oh,
I don't know if all those trees or not, but yeah, that hurt. It should have been a big fat leather strap, guys, because that doesn't hurt as much. That's why they do the big leather straps in these matches. They don't usually. Steve wasn't the smartest guy. But yeah, so was fun. I mean, I didn't care at that point in time. I'd do anything, but all right. And then our next show, Ricky, this is going to be a little different for us. Tina Louise. She's a gear maker. She's done gear for Hernandez's folks and who knows how else. She's also related to somebody in the business, or a former WWF Women's Tag Champ. I forget her name. And I think it's her aunt. So be kind of cool. Well, some good conversation. And you heard her, well, you've seen her comments. She's like, she's preparing herself for the criticism. I said, don't worry, because if Ricky gets out of line, I'll beat him up when I get over there. Right?
No, Tina Louise's gear, saffron gear, it looks amazing, and I actually, I might have a look at it myself because new gear could be needed for when I become champion. So, I might start talking to Saffron.
So what I thought I'd do with her is she's keeps sending me all. She's constantly sending me. So I'm getting all these pictures, and I'm going to make a big slideshow so we can kind of go through it as a slideshow and just keep talking.
Love it.
Yeah. So that should be kind of good. It'll be just a little different. Of course, we'll talk about what happened May 17th. Obviously, this will have happened, so we'll see where we're at there.
Yep.
And should be a good show. So I'm looking forward to it. So guys, we went really long today.
We did.
I hope Keaton, I hope you understand. This is before the title match, so you kind of got stuck in the middle here. A lot of tension going on right now with everybody. So
yeah,
everybody's emotions and mine included are on a very high level. So.
Oh yeah.
But the one thing with Ricky and I, we can agree to disagree, and and believe me, we do. But we also can be professional about it, and that's what we have. So that's what you get with Forward. So
yep,
we'll be back next show, and then with Tina Louise. I'm looking forward to this. And then
that'll be great.
After this one, Ricky, it's going to be a special NWF Forward because we won't have a rewind after this. It'll be a special NWF Forward live in person with the Canary Kid and Ben Nelson. Hopefully we'll, and then we're going to talk. Probably going to be the first time you're going to be side by side in that situation. So I don't know how that's going to go. So we'll see.
Yep.
So that'll be a good show. And that's going to be live from the dojo when we do that show. And it's going to be a special time, 7 p.m. Ireland time. So it should be fun. Friday before the big show, big match. The eve of the championship match. Now, who knows what we're going to be talking about? I said Ben, but, it might be Ben just to say that he's not going to be fighting. It just depends what happens in this match. So we'll see. Right? So we're going to sign off because we got some technical stuff to deal with here when we get out of here. So we hope you enjoyed the show. And
perfect.
Me and Dave, hopefully Dave can get into Rewind. I'm concerned here. So I'm going to find out what's going on. I think it's the EV Mux platform. Something's messed up with it. So
they'd have a look.
Because Dixie Dave, the plan was he was going to surprise us and he's going to come in. Would have been Dave too.
That would have been awesome.
God. And I'm sending them the links and stuff, but we got in such a heated discussion that I even lost track of Dave. And then I realized he couldn't get in. We get into our characters, guys. All right.
We get passionate.
Yeah. So we're going to sign off. We'll see you guys on the next show.